What the f happened in Super Bowl XXXIII? The Atlanta Falcons came into the game having never made it to the bowl in their franchise history, led by Pro Bowl quarterback Chris Chandler, supported by a great cast of weapons, including the dangerous Jamal Anderson, who had over 2,000 all-purpose yards and 16 touchdowns that year. The Denver Broncos were seeking a repeat championship after winning Super Bowl XXXII against Green Bay, and were led by the veteran John Elway, who was backed up by league MVP Terrell Davis, who had an insane year, rushing for 2,008 yards and 217 receiving. The game started with a nice return by Tim Dwight, who managed to get the Falcons all the way to the 37 before going down. Jamal Anderson took his first carry right up the gut next, gashing the defense to get to midfield before going down, picking up a first. Took an awkward cut on the next play, getting stuffed for no gain, before Chandler found Tony Martin on the sideline for a toe tap and 4 yards. On 3rd and 6, Chandler tried him again deep down the sideline, incomplete, but not without a flag for pass interference that moved them into the red zone. Anderson fought through some arm tackles in the backfield next, before advancing and pulling himself forward for a few yards before getting tripped up. On 2nd, he plowed forward for a few, but was just short, and on 3rd and 1, Chandler took it on a QB sneak that got them the yard they needed. Anderson found a gap, but didn't get much yardage on 1st. Chandler rolled right and fired a heater that bounced off his guy's hands next in the end zone, and on 3rd and goal from the 8, Chandler hit the back of his drop and was dusted by Bill Romanowski with a free rush up the middle, and Anderson's kick went straight down the pipe to put them up 3-0 to start the game. Starting from their own 20, Elway's first pass bounced off Davis's hands incomplete, but on 2nd down he found Unk over the middle on a spot route for the first down. A toss to Davis got strung out on the edge next, before they tried again, only picking up 2 this time, and on 3rd and long, Elway surveyed and fired a rocket to Rod Smith in stride, and the receiver managed to break a tackle and get rolling down the sideline to get deep into Atlanta territory in the blink of an eye. Davis fell forward for 2 on 1st down. On 2nd, he found a hole and managed to follow the fullback for 8 and get them just enough for another conversion in the red zone. Next play, he got popped in the backfield, losing 1. On 2nd, Elway threw a contested ball to Sharp, who held onto it, working his way back inside, and dove unsuccessfully for the end zone, ending up injured. And on 3rd and goal, the fullback Howard Griffith took it up the gut as everyone pursued Davis to the other side, scoring the first touchdown of the game, putting up Denver 7-3 nearing the end of the first quarter. Chandler missed his first throw of the second drive before handing it to Anderson on 2nd, and the back showcased some patience, dancing and letting blocks develop for his 9-yard gain, but on 3rd and 1, the back couldn't get past the line of scrimmage as the edge collapsed on him, and they'd quickly go 3 and out, punting it back to Elway. TD took it straight down the middle for 6 on 1st down, before Elway missed Unk on the stick route next. And on 3rd and 4, Elway tried to go back to him, rolling right, but the ball was slightly behind Sharp, and he tipped it to the defender, Ronnie Bradford, who spun around going out of bounds, setting up the offense pretty in Broncos country. Atlanta started off with a toss to Tim Dwight, who bubbled backwards before finding the edge and diving forward for about 5 yards up to the 30. On 2nd down, Anderson took it up the gut, but ran into a wall, setting up 3rd and 1, where they went right back to him, but he was stuffed for almost nothing, deciding to go for it on 4th and 1. Chandler tossed it out to him, and Denver's defense made a stand, swallowing him up with nowhere to go. Elway dropped back on 1st, finding Byron Chamberlain over the middle for a quick first down. Next play, they tried TD again, but the back only fell backwards for 1, and on 2nd and 9, they tossed it to him. The back cut in, finding a lane for a good gain to get past midfield, setting up 3rd and 1, where Elway delivered the first down strike to Chamberlain on the shallow crosser. Elway rolled right next, firing a dart to Smith, who fell down, catching it for another first, before Elway's next throw got batted at the line, and on 2nd down, TD dashed through a wide open lane before getting tripped up inside the 15. Davis spun out of a tackle in the backfield next before juking another guy and finding some room to plow forward inside the 10, where Elway'd have to throw it away on the next try, and on 3rd and 4, the QB threw it dangerously behind his guy, and Denver would have to settle for 3 as Elam's kick went through to put Denver up 7 deep into the second quarter. Chandler found Mathis on 1st down near the boundary, and the receiver was able to turn upfield, getting past the 40 before going out. Next play, they hooked up again as Chandler hit a deep drop and lofted up a deep ball for him. The corner failed to bring him down, and the receiver managed to get to the 27 before going down this time. Chandler dumped it down to Anderson next, and the back lowered his shoulder and went out, picking up another 9, setting up 2nd and 1, where the back took the carry and was able to lunge forward at the end for just what they needed. He followed his tight end on the counter run next, barreling forward for about 6, setting up 2nd and 4, where Anderson took another carry, but he was tripped up early, and on 3rd and 3, Chandler tried a high throw for Dwight in the end zone, but it went way over his head, and Anderson's kick hooked right, and Atlanta would come up empty on a promising drive. drive. Elway started the next drive with a play fake before setting his feet and launching one for Rod Smith on the post, but the receiver had his guy beat by a few yards and caught it in stride, pulling way to the outside and galloping all the way in for a one-play touchdown to put Denver up 17-3 with less than 5 to go in the half. Tim Dwight tried to answer on the kickoff though, as he caught it near the 10 and got going behind a solid wall of blockers before finding a crease and shooting through, dashing all the way up past midfield before getting shoved out. Chandler ripped one into no man's land on first down, incomplete, and on second, he lofted one to Martin, this time on a deep corner for the first down on the sideline of Denver's 26. Chandler escaped the pocket on the next play, working his way around the edge before getting vertical and diving down at the 17 for another first down conversion. He faked it to Anderson next before tossing it out to the tight end, Kozlowski, who rumbled forward for 6, setting up 2nd and 4, where Chandler tried a one-on-one ball to the corner of the end zone, but it was broken up by the corner, and on 3rd down, Chandler tried a fade to Martin, but it was broken up again, and they'd have to settle again, with Anderson banging it through this time, making it 17-6 in the closing minutes of the first half. Starting at their 28, TD took a carry, gashing Atlanta's defense all the way past the 40 for a quick first down before getting tripped up. They tried him again, this time with less success, and he only picked up 2, but on 2nd down, Elway ripped one over the middle to Chamberlain, who went down on Atlanta's side of the field with over a minute left. Smith took it on a reverse next, but Atlanta's defense kept him contained, only picking up 1, before Elway went back to him on the next play, but the receiver slipped up catching it, setting up 3rd and 4, where Elway took a deep shot for Griffith, but it was barely overthrown, and a holding call on the line backed them up to 3rd and 14, where they tossed it to Davis, and the back picked up a few yards, but got nowhere near the line to gain, and Atlanta would get it back with 34 seconds left. Chandler felt the heat on first down and had to just throw it away to avoid taking a safety in the end zone, before they just hand it to Anderson, who took it forward for a few yards, but they just let the clock run down and take it to halftime. Denver got the ball to start the half, and Elway rolled out on a boot, finding Ed McCaffrey on the sideline for a quick first down. He dumped it down to Davis next, and the back turned upfield for another first to get them into Atlanta territory before they'd hand it to him next for a short gain, setting up 2nd and 8, where Elway found his fullback in the flat, and Griffith managed to take it out of bounds for 7, setting up 3rd and 1, where they handed it to him, and Griffith pounded forward for the conversion. Davis took it next, but couldn't find much, only picking up 2. On 2nd, Elway tried to fire, but someone got their paw on it, batting it down, and on 3rd and 8, Elway stepped into a heater over the middle for McCaffrey to get them into the red zone. PD showed some agility next, cutting to the outside and back into a crease like Meteor Mother, but a holding call neutralized the gain, and Elway would be pulled down trying to stiff arm the defender on the edge next, leaving them at 2nd and 21, where Davis got stuffed, and on 3rd and 20, Elway hit Smith in the flat, but he went down well short, and it'd be Elam's turn to miss as he sent it right of the upright, and Denver would come up empty. Chandler found Tony Martin for a quick 20 yards on a deep out to start the drive, before pulling it down on the next play and scrambling for another first down in Denver territory. His luck ran out on the next play though, as he was buried in the backfield, losing 6, and on 2nd and 16, where Chandler felt pressured in the pocket and fired a rocket ball down the middle that was jumped by Darius Johnson, who picked it off and weaved his way forward down into Atlanta's side to set up Elway with great field position. Davis took the handoff, shook a defender in the backfield, and got around the edge, falling down after picking up a first on first. Next play, the back lowered his head but only picked up 2, setting up 2nd and 8, where Elway missed behind Smith, almost throwing a pick, and on 3rd down, Elway flipped it to McCaffrey in the flat, but he was quickly overwhelmed, and the kick attempt was biffed again by Elam, and Denver would fail to punish the turnover. The Falcons went back to the ground with a toss to Anderson, where the back rounded the edge and trucked a dude on first down before Chandler would find Mathis on the sideline next for another quick conversion to get them deep into Denver's side. Anderson spun out of a tackle next, advancing upfield, plowing into the defense to get them near the red zone, but their Mickey Mouse run would come to an end as Chandler's next pass got tipped high in the air and fluttered right into the hands of Darian Gordon, who looked like he was going to go all the way with it, but Chandler managed to take a good angle and eventually stop him at the Falcons' 30. Elway handed to Davis for a short gain to start the drive, followed by a throw ripped over the middle for McCaffrey, who initially looked like he pulled it in, but dropped it in the end zone. On 3rd and 6, Elway found McCaffrey wide open over the middle, and the receiver was ankle tackled right at the 5-yard line, where they just handed up the gut to Griffith, who grittily punched his way down to the goal line, and they'd give it to him again, and the fullback finally pushed his way in right before his knee went down for the score, putting up Denver 24-6 early in the 4th quarter in a game that was looking more and more like a blowout by the 2nd. Start the drive, Chandler stepped up and threw back across his body over the middle to Santiago, who caught the low ball for the conversion. Anderson took another toss around the edge, where he made a cut back in at the end for some extra yardage, followed by another sideline throw to Martin for a quick conversion deep in Denver's territory. Chandler hit the back of his drop and ripped it straight over the middle to Darian Gordon again, and the DB once again took it the other way, galloping down to about midfield before being brought down, and once again the Falcons wasted a promising drive. Elway hit the back of his drop and chucked it forward to Davis on first down, and the back got absolutely rolling down the sideline before being pushed out after the massive gain, setting them up inside the 10, where Derek Lovell came in to relieve Davis, picking up 6 on first down, before Elway took it on the QB draw, lunging across the goal line for another score to put them up 25 points with 11 minutes left in the game. That lead would get cut into almost immediately, however, as hard-working grinder Tim Dwight weaved his way through traffic on the return to find himself in an open field with only the kicker to beat, which he did, and then cut back inside with nothing but a referee in front of him, and White Lightning would score Atlanta's first touchdown of the game, cutting it to 31-13. Knowing there wasn't much time for a comeback, Atlanta started kicking on sides, but Denver was able to recover it, setting them up near midfield, where Davis plowed forward for a good first down gain. On second, they went back to him, but there wasn't much room to run, and on 3rd and 5, Elway tossed one out to McCaffrey on the sideline, and the receiver stiff-armed his defender while going north and getting cut down after a few more extra yards and an important conversion. Davis fell forward for a few more yards on first. They tossed it to him, and he had to run over a man for a few, and on 3rd and 4, Elway tried Willie Green with a back shoulder ball, but he wasn't able to come down with it. They'd have to settle for 3, and Elam put it through this time, making it 34-13 halfway through the 4th quarter. Chandler's first throw of the drive got tipped again, but luckily for him, it fell to the ground this time. The QB scrambled up the middle for about 6 yards on second, and on 3rd and 4, Chandler launched up a rocket ball to Martin on the corner route, and the throw made it over the defender and into the receiver's hands for a first down. His first down throw was batted down again. On second, he dumped it down to the back for a few yards, setting up 3rd and 6, where Chandler tossed a low ball for Mathis past the sticks, and they'd have another first. Anderson got tripped up early next on the drop the gut. On second, Mathis took a quick flat for almost nothing, and on 3rd and 4, Chandler launched a rocket ball over the middle into double coverage, and he was lucky it wasn't picked as Dwight tumbled to the ground. Needing the drive to stay alive, Chandler dropped back on 4th, slinging it out to Mathis on the out, and the receiver hauled it in, going out well past the marker for a clutch first. Chandler found Ronnie Harris coming shallow over the middle next, setting up 2nd and 2, and on the next play, Chandler went for it all but barely overthrew Dwight in the end zone, and on 3rd and 2, Harris grabbed the quick throw to the flat and punished the off coverage, working his way to the 5-yard line before going out for another conversion. Chandler hit his drop and ripped a head scratcher between 4 defenders that was somehow tipped in the air, but not intercepted, miraculously for him. On the next play, Chandler couldn't hook up with his tight end on the goal line as it fell incomplete, and on 3rd and goal, Chandler launched a fadeaway tight window throw to Mathis in the end zone, who tumbled in with it for their first offensive touchdown with 2 minutes left in the game, and with the 2-point conversion failing, the score would stay 34-19. With another onside attempt failing, all Denver had to do was get a first down to win it, but a few carries by TD left them on 4th and 3, where they just decided to let Elway toss it to the end zone and burn up a little bit more time, turning it over to Atlanta. Chandler dumped it off to Anderson on first down, and the back tried to find some running room on the outside, but the back had the ball ripped out of his hands with Tyrone Braxton recovering it, sealing the game for the Broncos, allowing Elway to kneel on it and run out the clock, securing the repeat, and the veteran QB could finally ride out into the sunset with a storybook ending and 2 rings under his belt, while the Atlanta Falcons would have to wait another 17 years before finally making it back to the big game, where surely they'd take a huge lead and win it all, right? Hey guys, thanks so much for watching. Please subscribe to the channel and click the thumbs up on the video if you liked it. Also, I'd really appreciate if you guys could join my Patreon for early access to new videos, and I have some exclusive game reactions that I can't post here on YouTube. Anyways guys, I'm going back in time and making a what the f happened video for every past Super Bowl, and I have a new tier list video ranking every NFL franchise through week 2 of the 2025 season, so go check it out. Peace.